Welcome back. So right now I added a new text down here and I want to kind of center that text. That's what we're going to try and do this lesson. Now how do we do that? Well, let's jump into the documentation, and I just want you guys to be aware there are two, when we look at this page right here, there are two things. There's the containers, which is kind of the outer layer of a component, and then there's the inner child elements of that container, right? And right now we have something inside a footer, right? So we have the footer, that's going to be our container, and in there we kind of have this text that we want to center. So we're going to look at something inside a container, the child element of a container, and we want to align this guy by calling the center fx flex align equals center, because we want to center this component, element inside the component. Let's try and do that. Fx flex align, that was the name, right? Fx flex align, fx flex align. There we go. And we want to center this guy, so let's try and save this now and see if it works. Jumping back to our code right here, it didn't work. It didn't center it. Now what's the problem? Well, the problem is the footer is actually a container, but I didn't explain to the footer that it's a container. I didn't tell the footer that it actually has a layout of the type column. That's the problem. Because if you go back to the code, I actually explained to the content page that this guy had the layout type of column, but I haven't explained that to the footer. So it doesn't know it's a container yet. So let's just add this to the footer so that it knows that now it has a column layout, and the footer is actually also its own container now. Notice, it's very important that you guys try and consider every area as a container, if that's what it is, with child elements. It's just a lot easier to understand the flex layout then. You can have containers and containers and containers, and then you can have elements in those containers as well. Sweet, let's jump back and see what we got now. Okay, so this is centered now, but our horizontal line got very, very small. It's a small horizontal line now. I want it to be full line again. Let's jump back to the code. Now the way we do that is pretty much just by explaining to the horizontal line, just like we did up here, that I kind of want to fill this out. So I'll say fx flex fill. There we go. I don't want anything in here. I just want to grab the entire space. Jumping back to the code. Boink! There we have the horizontal line again, and we have centered our text. Sweet! But let's just have a look here. Is that actually how we should fill it out? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, fx flex fill. That's how you fill out inside a child element inside a container. That's all we had to do. Now our beautiful, beautiful thing right here is actually centered. So we are pretty much starting to be happy people. And let's just see if when we start to do this responsively, it'll still stay centered. Yeah, it seems it will. Good. But let's have a look here. If we go in too far, it doesn't hide the nav bar. That's for the next lesson. Let's figure out how we can actually hide a nav bar and show a nav bar depending on the size of our application. See you next time. Have fun.